Welcome to the last episode of You Both Suck. I'm Kunal Aurora.
And I'm Dara Pollock.
This will definitely get flagged.
Do you think it'll be a copyright thing?
I mean, we can fight it under the parody of comedy. You can.
It's so beautiful.
It is beautiful.
All right, fine. I'll stop it.
No. I mean, we can get away with it. We just have to fight.
Okay. Well,
But I'll tell you what doesn't have any more fight. This podcast. This is our last episode.
I was just going to say, did you write a whole slew of jokes about how this is? Because I had a pretty good one.
Good. Go for it.
I said it was going to be like the title of our podcast became our self-fulfilling prophecy.
I had said that to a buddy. I said that to Shane. I go, turns out we suck.
Yeah, it turns out we both suck, actually.
We both it should be we both suck at podcast.
See, this is what I mean.
Yeah.
We could just keep going on these. But anyway, no. Yeah, it is very sad, but it is just necessary at this point.
100%.
And we'll address it, obviously, because when we posted about it, it came out of nowhere and we got questions from people asking why. My friends texted me asking why. And I do also want to thank those people who were loyal listeners. My friends being a lot of them, which I was actually shocked by, if I'm being honest. I thought that really no one in my friend circle would listen. I just thought they did not give a shit.
I've got a few friends that were listening and I'm really happy. And also shocking. It's shocking.
It really was shocking. Because I'll be honest with you, when my friends started podcasts, some of them that have become really well known from it.
Yeah.
It's I listened at first, I guess, but then after a while you're kind of I have access to this person all the time. I don't really need to. Do you know what I'm saying? It's almost I have access to them. I know who they are. I don't really need to listen because I feel I know what they're going to say.
Right. I mean,
already.
They would have fallen off too if we kept going.
Right.
Just, you know what I mean?
Maybe that's fair. But also I still didn't listen as religiously as some of my friends have listened this entire time. I never listened to any of my friends' podcasts for more than probably a month or two.
I think
honest.
that it's a combination of two things. One, I think that maybe you and I need to believe in ourselves more than we think that that's the case. That we're actually entertaining people because we are.
Well, yeah, we
are. So I think that that's for us to be I can't believe they're listening. I don't know if that's a personalized a self-esteem thing or maybe our friends are losers. I don't know.
No, it's neither. I just think it's interesting because I really thought that most of my friends don't pay attention as much to the stuff that I do as the people who don't know me, because the people who don't know you, there's a little bit of a mystery there. They want to learn more about you, so they'll listen to you on other platforms to learn more about you. Your friends already know everything. Do you know what I mean? For the most part. So that's kind of why I say that. I really, if anything, I think you and I believed in ourselves a little too much when we started this podcast.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. It was the ignition for it.
It really, it was the ignition. We thought, so just so everyone knows, then we will get into the reasoning why here. But we started this podcast. We were both so pumped and hyped. so convinced that this was going to and don't get me wrong, we didn't think it was going to be an overnight success.
No.
But we thought it was going to pick up steam a lot more than it did.
Yes.
And really it didn't. And the main reason that we decided that it was time to just stop was because it flatlined a long time ago, if we're being honest. It was growing for a bit, and I kept saying to Kunal, I'm okay with slow growth, even though it's better than no growth.
Right.
I was I'm okay with slow growth if it's, oh my God.
But it's got to be growth.
It's got to be growth. I keep fucking this up, but I'm saying it's better than no growth, but whatever. At some point, though, within the last few months, it's just been no growth.
And a lot of friends have been just keep going. And I'm there's a limit.
There's a limit.
There's a limit.
But I will say this, though, and I do think this matters, and maybe some people will come for me for saying this, but I do think that age and point of life or phase of life matters.
Of course.
If we were 25, I think
we could keep
this
showing
would be different.
up.
Yeah.
100%.
I don't think this would be as hard for us to both be okay.
I would do cocaine on this podcast.
The same.
During the podcast.
Same. Yeah.
This table wouldn't just be white for no reason. Okay?
Yeah.
We would be hitting fat rails and just going, we'll do this every week.
Actually, you should have probably tried that. It would have been fun.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you now.
I just pull it out of my bra.
Right.
Anyway, so I think that that's part of it because it just got to a point where it wasn't growing anymore. And look, people can say all they want when it comes to, oh, but as long as you're having fun and everything. And we have been having fun. I don't think there's ever been a time where we weren't. But the difference is the numbers don't lie. And also the numbers do affect you. I don't care what anybody fucking says. And the numbers eventually, I think we're starting to suck the energy and the motivation from both of us.
They tell a story.
It tells you something. Yes. And I'm sorry. It's just like, look, we are now... The other aspect of this...
No apologies.
Right, yes. I was just about to say I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for saying I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But the other thing, too, that we probably didn't take into consideration as much as we should have when we first started is how much competition there truly is. Like, I mean, we all joke and we would all say everyone has a podcast, but it's not that everyone has a podcast. It's also that celebrities have podcasts.
You're doing podcasts with the same, you're doing podcasts like Obama is
literally. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I was talking to a friend a few weeks ago about the podcast. She was asking how it was going. And I was honest. I said, look, I don't know. It's going, it's still fun, but like, it's definitely been a bit of a slog. It's been a bit of an uphill battle because it feels like our motivation is waning, if I'm being frank. And then she was like, yeah, but I really love you guys. You have such great chemistry, blah, blah. And I'm like, I know we do. And it's true. Yeah. And then in the same sentence, she goes, and I was listening to Julia Louis-Dreyfus and I'm like, how are we in the same sentence? You know what I mean? It's like, it wasn't a compliment. It's just a wake up call that there are so many fucking celebrities now and so many people doing this. It's very, very hard to stand out.
It's tough. Like, I mean, I do stand up and to get compared to somebody like Russell Peters is bonkers.
I don't know who that is.
Well, that's great.
Do I?
But it's just like he's one of the biggest Indian comics in the world, right?
Oh, okay.
Now, the thing is, to be compared to him is like lovely company, sure. But at the same time, it's like the amount of money he pays in taxes is the amount of money I wish I could make.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
So.
And like, that's what I mean is like, maybe we missed the boat a little bit. Maybe we should have started years ago. But the thing is, look, you can't look at it that way.
No.
And we gave it our best shot. We tried. And I'm very big on not living with regret.
Same.
I'm somebody who likes to, give it a shot. At least I can say, and we can both say, we tried it. We gave it our best. And we don't have to look back and think, what if? That's like one of the worst things I think you can think of when you're in this kind of position. So I'm like, look, we tried. And again, if we were in a different phase of our lives, maybe we could have really stuck our fucking noses to the ground and just hustled and grind this out. But I have been on this hamster wheel of content creation for over a decade. And it's tough. I face burnout regularly.
Right.
And I simply do not have it in me at this point. It's a lot of work. I also, for those who do know, I manage social media for other people.
And the summer is a busy time for you as well.
Yeah, the summer is actually probably my busiest, where it's a slower season, I think, for you. Slower
season for me,
but still, it's like I have so much other work on top of this that it was like I don't have it in me to keep grinding at this when there's basically been no return for a really long time.
Yeah, and it makes sense. And it's just like, it would be, and I think that for me, I started thinking about my time. Like I'd asked Dara a while ago, I was like, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
And then you didn't have an answer and I didn't expect you to. And it's like, fine. And then I'm just out here just like sitting here thinking like, oh, she doesn't have an answer. How come she doesn't have an answer? And then I'm like, what do I want to do?
Yeah.
What do I want to do in my life? And I started to think about that. And I was like, let me just, I wanted to free up things in my life. And, this was one of the things I was like, I love doing it.
Yeah.
I like chatting with you, of course, but it just came down to this has been a summer of no for me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just everything that I can just not want to do, don't have to do, I'm doing that.
Right. No, that's good. And that's a good way, I think, to be. It's like, I was talking to somebody else about just life stuff in general, catching up, like an old friend. And I said, like, I have been enjoying the fact that my life has seemed simpler in a lot of ways. Like it's slowed down kind of.
Right.
And it's because I've chosen to make it that way. Like back when I started my own like business with the social media stuff and the consulting, every fucking waking second that I had was dedicated to education and teaching myself more things. And not that didn't pay off because, I think it did, but it was so exhausting just constantly consuming content about this and that. And now it's like I spend my time doing things that I want to do, consuming content that relaxes me rather than agitates me.
Yeah.
Like there's so many things about social media that drive me insane, and it's literally my job. So I have to try and manage it as best as I can. And like I started my business social media and I haven't done shit with it because I haven't had the time. I'm spread too thin. It was like,
no, of course, and this gives you space to do that.
I mean, maybe, and honestly, I hope.
Now I'm gonna read a list of people I want to racially slur.
No, but wait, we did mention something, or you mentioned something before.
Yeah.
Speaking of social media, you said something.
I said that, so I've said no to a lot of shows that I don't want to do. I've said no to things that I just don't want to do. And after July, I'm going to just delete social media off my phone, which I know is a huge thing for a comedian to do.
Cue gasp.
I know. But it's like, I just want to take that time to still figure out what I'm into, figure out what I care about. And like, fortunately, I'm in a phenomenal position right now where I don't have to do social media as a stand-up comic.
That's nice.
And it's a great thing because the people that know me, that trust me, that like me, go, he's still going to do good work. He's still, when he's on stage, he comes to kill.
Yeah.
And that's it. So that's fine. So I get a luxury. And that's the thing. Both of us are pretty privileged.
Yeah.
Because we get to at least, it's not like we stop this podcast and we have to go, my God, I need an under the table cash job. You know what I mean? Like, we're not in a bad place. We're both in really good places in our lives.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that this is a good time to, call
reevaluate.
Yeah, call a couple people the R word, hard. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not privileged in the sense that I can't get off social media.
Sure, but it's part of your job. That's part of your job.
It's my job, but also I don't post on my own account as much as I used to, and I'm going to probably keep that going because really I get very little to no joy out of it anymore because every time I post something, I lose even more followers and I get even less traction and less engagement unless my tits are out, in which case, OnlyFans.
What are you going to do?
I'll think about it. No, but I mean, it's just like, that's really what it is. So I'm just like posting.
People want to see those feet, Dara. Let them.
I know, that's true.
Nobody has to see your fotch.
You know what's funny is like I probably should have had my bare feet out for this last episode.
I mean, here we go. A little sock foot for the freaks.
I'm getting my toes done tomorrow actually.
Oh,
so they're
you?
a little not, they're not as nice.
Well,
as
you can Venmo Dara
yes.
at Dara Pollock. We'll put the link up right here.
Yeah, there you go.
And send her money for a foot picture.
Honestly, if anybody actually did, I think I'd send it. I think I would at this point.
We're gonna be.
If it's just a foot pic,
the price is $15 per foot pic. Okay. I know you were gonna get aim lower.
I was.
Yeah, I know you
say
were.
Like
Gross.
10.
No, we're going $15 per foot pic. You want both feet? Ooh. That'll be $25.
Is that a little discount?
A little discount.
You get $5 off.
You get both feet. You get a little symmetry to beat off to.
I can't.
There we go. That's the new business. We're going about what ventures we're getting ourselves into.
Honestly.
I'm going to be selling Dara's feet pics.
You'll be my manager.
Yeah, I'll be your manager.
Foot manager.
Yeah, some might say a pimp, but I don't like that word.
I don't know what's worse. But yeah, anyway. Well, actually, though, speaking of, let's talk about the questions that some of the people asked us, some of the listeners, because I think that was literally one of them, is like, what's next for you guys?
Right.
But, hold on, let me pull it up on my phone. Okay. Well, first of all, I mean, we obviously already basically addressed this, but I thought it was funny. So a lot of people thought the reason that we were ending this is because you and I had a falling out.
Who do you think would be the cause of that?
You.
Me?
Why would it be me?
You get the.
Why would it be me?
Bitch, you trifling ass bitch, get out of here. You mad sensitive. What are you talking about?
You are also sensitive.
I understand that.
So don't be calling me sensitive when you're the same.
I'm okay. I can do that. But look at you getting sensitive about it. Look, is she mad already? Did we start fighting?
This is so annoying.
We start fighting already?
It's so not true.
No, we're both very sensitive people. I don't know if it would be.
I don't think I'm very sensitive. I think I'm sensitive about certain things.
Okay.
It takes a lot to offend me.
You do be loving caveats. You be out here with caveats.
It's true though.
Okay. Well,
I don't think I'm that sensitive.
I don't know if it would be. I don't think it would be you to but I don't think it would be me either. You know what I mean?
To be fair, you were the one who came to me about it.
That is true, but that's not. But these were open conversations we were having beforehand.
I mean, yeah, but we hadn't revisited it in a while.
Yes,
to be fair.
Right.
And but the funny part is, so first of all, obviously, no, there was no falling out. This was actually very much mutual. But what was funny is the day that you wanted to talk about this, I was hungover.
So funny.
And Kunal texted me and he was like, "Hey, I took the something for the pod and I need to drop it off. Let me know when you're going to be around."
Which I didn't do intentionally. I did, which you did ask me.
I did ask because it was giving like the girl who was like, "I left my hair tie at your place. If you're home, I'll come get it."
Right. You were like, "Just leave it with the doorman," and I go, "I just feel like we should talk." And you're like, "What do you?"
I literally sent him because this was via text and I was hungover. I was like dying. I wanted to take a nap and it was like right when you wanted to come by. So I was like, "Just leave it with the doorman." And he sends me to, "Oh, maybe later or tomorrow." And I just sent him a voice note. I'm like, "Dude, do you want to talk? Like, what's happening?"
It's when I saw that voice note, I was like, she's not stupid.
Yeah, like literally, I can sense these things.
Yes, right. So you were, and I was just like, all right. And I was like, we'll talk tomorrow about the podcast. And you're like, all right.
Yeah, and I kind of figured, like, he didn't tell me at that point what it was about, but I had a feeling, and I'll be honest, in my gut, I was almost hoping that that's what you were.
When you said that to me, which by the way, you didn't have to share.
Yeah.
But the fact that you did, really sweet on you. Because it, like, to me, I was like, I did come over here.
Because I knew you would be nervous.
I was nervous.
Yeah. I'm a terrifying person.
Yeah. See what I mean? I'm supposed to be, you know?
No, I'm kidding. But I could understand you being nervous, especially not knowing how I felt about it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And I don't want to hurt you.
Yeah.
And I like you.
It sounds like the dates I've been having recently.
I just think we should be friends.
Yes. Not partners anymore.
Not partners. We should be friends who occasionally pod from time to time. If you're
on my schedule when I want to.
Yeah, when I'm drunk at 2 a.m. If you'd like to pod with me, I'd like to pod with you.
My life just flashed before my eyes. Anyway, so I did say that deep down. It felt like I was kind of hoping you were going to say that because I've been feeling the same way.
Right.
And that's really all that it was, is just that we both felt like for all the effort that we've been putting into it. And look, granted, maybe we could have done more, but the truth is...
Maybe we could have done stuff differently. I don't know.
I don't know, but the truth is I didn't have it in me, like I said, to find out. We tried a bunch of other things with like TikTok and with YouTube Shorts, which was helping a little bit, but it was not moving the needle nearly enough. No. I mean, Instagram, again, as a social media manager, as somebody who runs accounts for other people, I was doing all of the things and probably even more that I do for my clients that I usually will see pretty decent growth.
Right.
We were it was helping a little bit at first, but honestly, the growth was so slow. The last few months, we've been gaining maybe like 1 follower a week.
Yeah.
And based on the amount of content and the type of content, and some of it is really good content, the amount of people that it reaches. Like, dude, when we had that Linkin Park clip go basically viral, almost like 500,000 views, how many followers did we get from that? Maybe 10?
Yeah, we got.
I mean, it's psychotic on social media these days. Like
100%.
what you have to do to actually get people to engage, to follow, to share.
Yeah.
These are all the things. That's why every episode we would say, guys, share, tag a friend, tell a friend to tell a friend.
We're not blaming anybody.
We're not blaming anybody, but it's like these are the things that matter, and it wasn't happening. Whether that's on us, I guess the content wasn't speaking to enough people.
Sure,
but that's what happened. It was people weren't talking about it, people weren't sharing it, so
you got to accept it for what it is.
In the bubble.
The numbers reflect what it is. If they're not feeling it, they're not feeling it.
They're not feeling it. And I get that. That's fine. Yeah. But it's just like,
does it prompt people to watch? Yes. Did it prompt people to comment? Absolutely. Yeah. Did it prompt them to share? I mean, did it prompt them to share? A little bit.
Some, yeah. Some.
Did it prompt them to follow? Not really.
Yeah, and a lot of the people also who shared, they didn't tag us or anything. So it's like, and also, again, you watch people's stories. You see somebody reposting something. How often are you really like, click on it, maybe you watch the whole thing, but then are you actually going to their page? Are you hitting there's so many steps in between.
Tough racket out here.
It really is. It's a tough hang.
We're just smoking cigarettes at the end of this pod.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So that was there's no animosity. There was no argument. It was all very cordial, very respectful. And I think that's always, even though we've had differences of opinions and we've definitely landed on way different sides on things, The one thing that I will say about this podcast that's been really great to see is that there's always been a level of respect.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think, and that's why it is a bummer that it has to come to a close, because we do work well together.
100%.
But it's just no longer seems like something that either of us really have the energy for at this point in our lives. It's just not something like, it started to feel, like I said before, kind of like a drag, like a slog a little bit.
But for $15, you can have this foot fresh pick in your DMs.
Yes.
Yeah. No face, obviously.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so next question was, what's next for us, which I guess we kind of talked about.
I mean, for me, I'm just going to be taking time to just chill, really just to be clear. I'm going to take some time to really kind of figure out what I'm into.
Are you still going to be doing comedy though?
Yeah. I mean, it's my
You're not
job.
taking off from comedy, just from social media.
No, I mean, I was going to try to take time off comedy.
I remember you saying that.
I was thinking about doing that, but it's like, this is my job.
Yeah.
Like, it's so crazy to say it sometimes, but literally stand-up comedy is my job. I make enough money to do this for a living, so I can't not show up to work.
Right. No, yeah. I mean, I understand. So it's like, that's with me too. It's like, I have bills to pay. I have to focus on the things that are giving me money to keep the lights on in this place. And
100%.
for that, it is social media and the consulting work that I do and for other people.
Well, these podcast lights won't have to be something you worry about. That's for damn
Well, no,
sure.
I actually I'm keeping these.
No,
these are yours.
Yeah, those are mine. I'm saying like in terms of keeping them on for a long period of time. Yeah.
Got it.
We'll be all right.
Yes, I got it.
I hope suck it, Con Ed.
That is true. And I will say one thing. Yeah. There's 1 or 2 stands for Kunal's lights, and they are so fucking annoying to open. I almost hurt myself.
They don't like you either.
Yeah, they clearly don't. And I was opening it today, and I nicked my thumb, and I went, you know what? Good. I was like, I'm so glad I don't have to deal with you anymore.
When I was opening up the lights, it said that you suck.
Yeah, good.
They said you smell.
Okay, so that was one question. Would you do another podcast? And if so, what type? I thought that was a good question.
That is a good question. I think that if I were to do another one, and would I work with you if it made sense to? 100%. Okay. Because I love the way we work.
Yeah, I think we have great chemistry.
Great chemistry. That's undeniable. I just don't know if I'm going to be in the podcast sphere. And I think the answer is no. I'm not going to be doing another podcast.
Interesting.
At all.
But what if the right opportunity came to you from somebody else and they wanted you to be a co-host?
On their thing?
Yeah.
It really has to depend on what we're dealing with here.
Right.
It really has to. It has to make. And you know what the other thing too? The subject matter has to make sense to me too.
Yes.
That's a huge deal. And I think I started to get burned out on this subject matter.
I did a little bit too.
Yeah, especially towards the end. And I was like, I remember the last episode we did where I was like, I don't think I care about this as much. And I think that's becoming, and I don't know if that's also the fact that the numbers were influencing that. Maybe it's a bit of both.
Yeah.
Both can be true.
Right.
I stay saying that. But so I just don't think a podcast for me is in the future.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I think it would have to be really same as you, the right opportunity at the right time. And also, I'll be full honest, if somebody came to me and wanted me to be the co-host and they had somebody to do the editing, I think that would make all the difference in the world, because let me tell you, it is a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. And I
don't
really appreciate all that you've done for that. And I got to say, the edits that you did were stellar.
Thank you.
And I each week I was always blown away by your work ethic.
Thanks.
And also your ability.
Yeah, thank you. I mean,
but if you say thank you like Eeyore one more time, I'm going to throw this heavy pillow
I said thank you.
All right, good. Just want to make sure.
The first time I said thank you like that, because it's sad, because I do think I'm pretty good at editing, and 100%. I really did like the clips. I would edit clips of the two of us and I would laugh out loud.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So 100%.
It's a bummer. That's why I say it that way. And I do think I'm good at editing, but it again does suck when you're putting all this time and effort into it. I mean, I spend hours, most of my weekends honestly had been completely shot in terms of any time for myself. It was a combination of me spending Saturday doing work for the pod and for my clients, and then Sunday was more clients and then a little bit the pod. But most of Saturday morning and afternoon, I was editing the pod. And it's that's not everybody's life. And I chose that to be the case, and that's fine. I enjoyed it. But again, when you see those numbers reflected back to you and nothing's picking up, it really becomes discouraging.
So then what are you going to do now with that time?
Well, honestly, the thing is, it's kind of in the same boat as you, where I don't know exactly, because I want to dedicate more time to building my business page, the Misfit Creatives. But
and this is a good time because the summer is like a busy season.
It's busy season, so
I really don't like that for you.
No, I do.
I mean,
I do.
I do and I don't. I'm happy because
it's money.
Yeah, that's why. I'm happy because it's money, right? I mean, I'm happy for the success that it leads to. But I also, the reason why I'm not like super thrilled as well is because I do want you to have that time to figure out the things that you want to do.
Yeah, but that's also like, that's my own shit though. I mean, I'm just the type of person where I feel like if I'm not doing something on the weekends, especially because I am single, if I don't have like something to do, I get anxiety a little bit because I feel like I should be doing. It's very hard for me to relax. You know, I want to be doing something pretty much all the time.
I like that we still want the best for each other.
Yeah, it's nice. It's true. Yeah, but I mean, I want to be able to do more of like my me time and just relax and chill. But I also do want to figure out.
I tried your neck pillow. Good God. If that's your definition of me time, hello.
Oh, the neck massager?
Yeah, that is wild.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's great. And yeah, I mean, my neck is acting up already this week, probably because I feel like there's impending like free time that I'm going to now have to figure out what I have to do with it.
Really?
Yeah.
That causes anxiety. Ah, man, for me, it's like I'll stare at a wall.
Oh God, no, I can't. I can't. I like physically cannot. I feel like I do have to.
You have to feel the need to fill it.
Well, honestly, okay, so remember last year when we started the podcast? Right around when we started the podcast, I don't think we ever actually talked about this, but I went through a little bit of a bout of depression.
You mentioned it briefly. I didn't want to talk about it unless you wanted to talk about it.
And we could talk about it now because it's like, it's past, but remember I told you came over and it was actually very nice. Kunal came by and we had a talk because I said that I was struggling with just like everything and like kind of just the motivation. And I said that there were some days where I feel like I don't want to get out of bed, but it's like, I know I have to. And so I will like work from bed. And you were like, that's not normal, right? And I was like, yes, I do. Yeah. But it was because I had lost a lot of my clients. And when I don't have like a purpose or feeling like I have a purpose, aka clients work, I get depressed. So that's why it's like, if I lose some of that like momentum, it's a slippery slope. So right now, thankfully, I have a good amount of clients because summer is a busy season for me. But yeah, if fall comes around and I lose more clients, it could dip back into that.
I will admit that now, I'm starting to feel that. The weight of freeing up all this time is like a lot because you stare into the void.
You have to, yeah.
Yeah, you stare into the abyss of your life.
Exactly.
The emotions.
Exactly.
They run deep. They run so deep. But and let me tell you, when you're staring across the river Styx and all you see is the boatman waiting there going, one day it'll be your turn to ride this boat. And you wonder if you have enough pennies for this ride. And all you sit here and think, have I made enough meaning in my life? Yeah, that's all. I'm going through a lot.
I don't know what this is. Is this from like a book or did you just make it up?
I'm making it up.
Oh, okay. I was like, this sounds like it's from a movie that I don't know.
No, the river Styx is something. But it's like, but the thing that I'm saying is like freeing up to. I didn't think. I never realized how depressing.
Well, it
can be.
But again, that's if you're a specific type of person. I think I am that type of person where it's hard for me to like.
I was saying that like I could do well at staring at a wall. I could just do that. But now as I've gotten even more time and now I'm starting to understand where you're coming from and I'm going, a lot of free time it's been very hard to handle. Yeah. And I'm trying to find the strength to deal with it. Yeah. So it's like, it's, so that's been what I've been struggling with. So, but I'm happy that you're at least having this time to fill your books.
I'm trying to figure it out and I hope that I'll be able to dedicate more time to like maybe building that page. Right. Also, if I don't though, I'm not going to cry about it just because again, I don't know that I want to do a similar thing where we did here, which is dedicate all this fucking time to making new content for a new page only for it to just completely sink and suck and be terrible and not grow. Sure. I'd be pissed.
Yeah, of course.
So I don't want to really I don't know.
This isn't my first go on a podcast. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like I've done several. There are other defunct podcasts out there of mine. And now I'm like, all right, now what do I do?
And that's the other thing too, is you have tried it before too, and it didn't click for you in those other ones either. This is the first one I've tried, but I don't know if I would, this was actually a very long answer to the original question, which is I don't know that I would do another pod unless it like felt right or it was just like a perfect opportunity situation, and I think it would have to be if somebody else were doing the editing, because that's really the biggest thing for me. Is I don't want to dedicate the time to that.
Sure,
anymore.
absolutely, I understand that.
Yeah, okay, so that was a very long-winded answer, but all right, now some more fun things. Favorite moments from the pod.
Ooh,
I know.
right.
I probably should have told you this before. So
that one should have been. I should have been. You really screwed the pooch here. No,
I mean.
Let's see. I think one of my favorite moments is when you and I both started yelling at Mark Jagarian.
Jagarjian, first of all. Still can't get it right.
Still can't get it right.
When we started yelling at him?
Yeah, well, I started because he was wearing a Boston
Oh,
sock.
you did.
Yeah, but you jumped in. Yeah, you kind of came in with the support system.
I mean, a little, but not as much.
When he was speaking poorly about New York City, and we're like, we're not going to sit here and take this. Not from you.
If you re-listen to the episode, because I, again, listened to the episodes like 4 times with editing, I'm pretty sure it was just you.
Well, I felt like...
It was funny, though.
I felt like you had my back.
I mean, I did, yeah.
There you go, yeah. Also yelling at Shane.
That I was going to... That is the one I was going to say. In terms of ganging up on somebody, when Shane was complaining about you calling him to complain about somebody who used chopsticks and a fork, and I was like, well, that is annoying.
Yeah.
And you were like, yes.
Yes, you get it. You understand grievances. And he is
he hates New Yorkers.
Yes,
so,
and we didn't tolerate that either.
That was funny.
Yeah,
that was
I think a lot of our the favorite moments are really just yelling at guests.
I mean, yeah, kind of. Now that I think about it, well, that one was great. Also, the sauce of shame and you liked it.
Yes, sauce of shame. That was delicious.
That was not.
When are you gonna make it again?
That was not good. I will not ever make that again.
Damn shame.
Yeah. So that was one of my favorite moments. Was the sauce of shame. The Shane bit also. That was definitely one of them.
I think I really enjoyed Kit Kat with ketchup.
Oh, I mean, that was just an interesting. I still maintain that if you are skeptical about that, you need to try it because it really tastes like General Chow's chicken or something like that. It's wild. It does not make any sense. I don't even like ketchup that much, other than like with fries and on a burger or whatever.
And even then, I'm not even.
Yeah, I'm not like dying for it.
I want ketchup mixed with something.
Yeah, I mean, I'll eat it plain, but you're right. Yeah. Typically, it's not like my go-to condiment.
Right.
And to eat it with a Kit Kat,
crazy.
I was like, this is bananas.
With
but everybody,
Brad
Stoll.
Yeah. I keep thinking it's Stroll,
who
but it's Stoll.
Now moved back to LA.
Yeah. He got deported.
Yeah.
Got sent back.
But yeah, that was a fun one.
Those are fun moments.
Rosella. When she and you made the background Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
I don't think I ever posted that actually, but when he was editing old clips, when you were doing TikTok, you found a clip of me and Rosella, and we were arguing about the Good Morning text.
Yes.
And I was saying how much I hate it, and she
loves it.
And he put like a freeze frame of us, like it was like both of us doing like one of these, like if you could see
gesture.
us, the like Italian kind of, New Yorker, what are you saying, like kind of thing, and the Mortal Kombat video game background.
Yes.
It was so funny.
Thank you. And that was another fantastic episode.
That was a great episode.
I think that episode was one. If I had to pick a favorite episode,
that's what I was gonna. The next question is favorite episode.
Favorite episode.
I knew yours was gonna be Rosella.
Absolutely, the Rosella episode. I mean, listen, I also enjoyed the Allie Jackson one.
Oh, Allie's. Yeah, that was gonna be one of.
Yeah, that's a really good one. But the Rosella one is just watching two people so starkly different but the same.
Yeah.
It's almost like you both are sisters.
Yeah, we get along very well.
Yeah.
Like we clicked immediately. Yes. That's why we became friends, but we are so different but yet the same.
Yes.
In a lot of ways. Yeah. It's weird.
I like that. I like how, and she's so man, that episode is a masterclass on watching someone evolve on how they treat and evaluate men. And I really think that it's something to be seen or to be heard.
Go back and listen to that episode. I believe it was in, I want to say it was like December.
Yeah, it's an earlier one.
Yeah.
But you can Google it.
I mean, you can go back. And her name is Rosella Rago. So if you look in our episodes, there aren't that many.
Right, right. But that's
you'll
definitely...
be able to find it.
Yeah, that's a YouTube. That's one that'll be on YouTube. So you can definitely check that one out.
That's a good one. Yeah, when she said that she doesn't want to date a man in leggings. And you immediately go, I'm not wearing leggings.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. She was so brutal. She's like, are you paying for... And one of my favorite things is when she goes, let's say your girl is dead.
Oh, yeah. She goes, what's her name? Dina? Okay,
Yeah.
Dina gets hit by a bus. It's very sad. Okay?
Yeah, it's very sad. But now, do you pay for the ride? And I'm like, who is this woman?
The fact, honestly, that is such a bold thing to say.
So crazy.
Like, I would never, to somebody that I just met, be like, oh, your girlfriend of 10 years, let's pretend she's dead for a second. I would never say that. And I'm a pretty,
respect it.
I respect it too.
It was
great.
She's
funny.
a ballsy chick. Yeah. Really enjoyed her.
Yeah, really great.
Really had a good time with her on the pod.
Yeah. So I knew that was going to be yours. And I think that's definitely one of my favorites. And Allie's episode was great.
Yes.
That was a fun one. Okay, what else? Let's see. Okay, we answered that.
The Jiggy episode's also a fun
Jiggy
one.
episode is actually very fun
Very
too.
fun.
That was
a great time.
Good time. Christmas episode. Also, I remember after that episode though, and Mark is like just the nicest guy. Like he's so sweet.
I'm gonna be honest. He's so sweet, and we're so mean.
And we get in the car. I get in the car to drive Kunal home, and he just goes, "We railroaded that poor man."
Yeah. Yeah, he was just.
I was like, "You're right.
He's just trying to film a special. He wants people to come out, and
I did go to his special. To be fair,
yes, you did.
I did go.
That's true. I was supposed to go, and I canceled.
It was very fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good one. That's also a very good episode. And Matt Broussard was a good guest.
Yeah, Broussard was a fantastic guest.
He was
also
a great guest.
Yes.
Good episode. I like that one as well. Okay, so this is a tough one. I also probably should have asked you about before. Even
wretched woman.
I was stuck in Toyota for 3 hours today.
You could have. All you had to do was forward it to me.
That's true. But that's
it's
neither here nor there.
You're just gonna send it. It's a screenshot.
I don't know. You be having D&D on like all the time. I'm just like, I'm not gonna bother him.
You have
literally you have it on all the time.
Listen. I'm not gonna argue that.
Yeah.
I will not argue that.
I'll be meditating.
But I have space for you in my life.
Aw.
Okay.
That's
there
adorable.
we go.
Fine.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Now go on, you wretched animal.
It was insights you're proud of from the pod.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. I do have a couple, I think.
You go first then.
Well, I was going to say the Linkin Park take.
Yeah. Yes.
Linkin Park being one of the best albums ever is one of the insights I'm proud of.
Hybrid Theory being a phenomenal album.
Yeah, sorry,
right.
Hybrid Theory specifically. And then my bit about the gift giving, I think was a very astute point. And I still think I'm right about that.
100% real strong. That's when
Katie
was
that was
on.
Also a good episode.
Yeah.
The Mother Octopus.
Love that was
her.
a great one. Let's see.
The gift giving.
Good insights.
But there was another one. Wait, did I have that? No, that was all I wrote down.
I'm trying to think what other insights on the episode on the podcast. I'm just there. There's a few I'm sure that come to me where I'm just like, it's. I'm sure they're there in the clips.
Oh, well, I mean, they're definitely in the clips. I think one of the ones, this is actually more of a recent one. I think it was the episode with Brad where you were saying about the woman who is probably just settling for a lot of bullshit because she's getting older and feeling the fear of getting older is like what's holding her back or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's a good point. I think that was one of your good points because it's true. A lot of people do that, especially women as we get older. We think like, oh, well, we got to settle because we're older and whatever. So
women apologizing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I don't fuck with that.
I have been better about that because of you. So I do thank you for that.
Thank you. You know what it is? It's not like I'm happy that you don't as much, but also I'm happy that you gave me space to express that. And then it just means that and then it means that you trust me and that you're listening. And then also I'm happy that I'm being heard.
Yeah.
I feel seen too. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Right. There are a lot of good, insightful moments. I think that Rosella had a lot of strong, insightful moments.
She did,
in terms of like the podcast, in terms of what she's willing to, what she wants in a person.
And also just like good takes on, because I haven't spoken to her in a bit, actually. We were supposed to catch up and then we had to reschedule. But if she is still single, she's out here in these streets, much like myself. And, she's not big on the dating apps. And she did say something about the apps. I thought that was a good point, which is, men especially, it's the illusion of options. It's not really that there are so many options. It's the illusion of options. Because when you think about it, we all wouldn't be hating the dating apps and we wouldn't all be in this position if there were really just so many amazing options. It's that really, it's hard to find a connection between two people out of a plethora of them, 100%. So I think that was a good point that she made. There's a bunch, honestly. But there's plenty to choose from. Okay, what else? I think that was kind of it. Favorite moments, insights, what's next? Would you do another pod? Yeah, I think that was it. Because a lot of the other things were like, no.
Oh yeah.
Why?
Yes.
So that was really it. Oh, sorry. How does one go about getting drinks with the team?
Oh, that's very.
That was funny.
That's sweet. I mean, just the thing is, I realize this. Dara and I live a mile away from each other.
Yeah, we do.
We're 0.9 miles apart. It's not hard.
Yeah.
So anywhere that's 0.4 miles from either one of us, that's how you get drinks.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Pretty much.
So really, that's not that difficult.
Yeah.
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 I feel like it was nice to we both kind of our worlds sort of collided in a lot of fun ways. Like, I got to meet some interesting people in your world.
Yes.
You got to meet some interesting people in my world.
Yeah.
I went to definitely a lot more food events
yes.
as a result, which I really admire and I had a good time doing. Met Rick McGuire.
Oh yeah, that was a good episode too.
Yeah, that was a good episode. That was fun.
Rick McGuire is from the What Is New York account, just in case you don't know.
Yeah.
Because he kind of stays behind the scenes, but that's like his account.
Right. So he was on, and then like you got to see like a little behind the scenes of stand up, and then there were also shows that you'd come to as well that you got to see. And, I hope that we still do that for each other going
I think
forward.
So.
I don't want that to end.
Yeah, I don't think the friendship is going to end.
Right.
Obviously we're not going to see each other as much and whatever,
Absolutely.
but I don't think it's going to end.
Sure.
Because frankly, it's weird that we weren't friendlier before this, because I'll be honest, I never really knew that you were in Greenpoint.
I mean,
I don't know how really, but I guess I never
I don't really talk about it too much.
Yeah, I guess that's what it was. I don't know. It just
I knew you were in Williamsburg. I just didn't know how close.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like you knew,
also,
and
I didn't know where you were at. Like you could have been. I knew for a while you were here in the apartment. And then for a while you were gone.
Yeah, but also, and again, remember we just had this episode not long ago about guys and girls being friends. You've had a girlfriend for a very long time.
Yeah.
So even if it's like you were not going to go and be like, hey, let's just catch up out of nowhere. Because it does seem like it could come off a little weird.
It does, yeah.
Absolutely. So I get it.
100%.
It's more that this was like a perfect storm of things. And I mean, I'm most likely not going to be dabbling in comedy. I know that's upsetting for a lot of people to hear. It's just, that was another thing about the pod that I thought was going to like bring me closer to it. And maybe it could have if things had worked out differently. But the truth is, it's another thing that I don't think I have the energy for.
I was pushing you towards it when you told me about it. And then when you expressed to me like how you felt about certain things, and I was like, you know what? Then it just doesn't, if it doesn't make sense for you, it doesn't make sense for you.
Because like, I'll say this, I do think I would have been good at it had I started maybe 10 years ago.
Sure.
I just really, for those who always ask me, like if I ever mention it or if I do like Q&As on my Instagram, people always be like, post your stand-up clips, and I'm like, I've done open mics like a handful of times. I don't really have clips, but either way, I have some stuff, but it's not good enough to share. And like, the fact is, like I said, work during the day, doing, content and stuff for other people. I'm going on shoots and stuff. Truthfully, at the end of the day, the last fucking thing that I want to do right now at 9 p.m.,
100%.
Fucking go do a 10-minute set at some shitty nightclub downtown or whatever. Like, I'm sorry. And 9 o'clock is generous. I'm new. I'd probably get a 10 p.m. slot.
Sure.
It's just not a life I want to live right now. I'm fucking 40 years old.
Right. I get it. I understand.
And there's nothing against anybody else who starts late. I think there's no time like the present. If you have that in you and you want to be a stand-up, go for it.
It's
but
about knowing what you want.
Exactly. And
I
it's
think
just not what I want.
Once you express to me what you really wanted or what you were really comfortable doing,
Yeah.
I stopped going, well, let me push her in that direction. Instead, it was like, well, this doesn't seem like what you want.
Yeah.
And then that's okay. And then it's just kind of like, and no one's saying that the age is a factor. It's just about one's life.
It's really not the age. It's like, for me, I'm saying that in that way because that's how I feel about just like my life and my energy levels. I don't have the kind of energy from working all day to go and do that shit at night. I just don't.
I get it.
But some people might and some people do.
Yeah.
But it's like a bummer because yes, I do love the idea of me doing stand up. I think I could have been good at it. I do think I'm funny.
Yeah, absolutely you are.
But it's just not something I can chase right now. It's the same way I feel about the pod. It's like a hamster wheel that I'm not sure I could keep going without getting super discouraged. And I don't really want to do that to myself at this point in my life. I'm kind of at a place where I'm seeking peace. I'm seeking happiness.
Oh, look at that, huh? Growth, yo.
I'm just
mad
saying.
growth. We just start smoking real cigarettes in the apartment. Just disgusting.
Never.
Babe. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's kind of it, honestly.
All right. Well, that's solid.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Are there any other closing remarks one may have?
I know. You know what's going to happen, too, is it's going to come to us after we end the pod.
Of course. I really enjoyed Hot Takes, Wild Debates.
Okay, so I did, too, but I'll be honest with you. We've talked about this. They gave me anxiety.
Did they?
Because I told you, you're a stand-up. You're used to writing shit and then basically memorizing it and then pitching it as a joke or whatever.
Yes.
I'm not used to that. I know I'm a good writer and I know I'm funny, but it was not easy for me to do Hot Takes
After the first two, I stopped writing.
I know. Well,
because I wanted to try
I
to.
thought you always wrote.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I would think about it, but I wouldn't write anything down because I wanted to assuage your beliefs.
Okay.
In terms of like, you're just as capable.
Oh, I mean, okay. Thank you.
I could have been better at apparently explaining that.
Yeah, I guess so. I always thought you were writing them down.
No. I wasn't writing stuff. These were all off the top.
I mean, it was just, it felt like another thing I had to do with my day before the podcast. And it was like, again, look, we filmed this in my apartment. So I'm setting up the lights. I'm whatever until you get here and do the rest of the shit that needs to be done. But it was another thing I had to like prep.
Yeah.
And it's like, I loved the idea of it, but in practice, I really didn't enjoy it that much.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
I enjoyed the ones that we did do, but that was why it didn't last very long.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah.
But yeah,
those are also good. Like we got to learn interesting facts about each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I will say I still really like an FMK. I think an FMK is still fun. I really
the FMKs are great too.
I liked those. I thought they were fun.
I put them all in the same category.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
To me, they were part of the Hot Takes Wild Debates.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
You have insane takes on these. I mean, mine were mentally ill, but
yours were
mine were mentally
unhinged.
Ill. Yeah, but yours were great. I'm like, oh, she's strong points.
That was one thing that I always thought was very funny is when we first started the pod and like my friends who would listen would always message me just to tell me how unhinged you are. And I always thought that I was like the crazy person amongst my friends. And then everyone was like, no. Because I was like, do I need to up it a little bit? And they said, no, someone needs to steer the ship.
Yeah. No, absolutely. 100%. I looked at it, I was like, and I needed that to a degree because then I see your reaction and I go, wait a minute. I might be wrong here. And there are a lot of instances where I looked at it, I was like, oh, I'm fully wrong here. Yeah. I'm actually just a crazy person. I need to reel it back in and think about what others might feel.
Like the one where you said you wouldn't be friends with me if I was an amputee. Yeah, that happened.
I'm going to be honest. I still am on the fence about that one. I still think I'm on the fence about that one. I really want... the reason... the thing is that I need to admit is that I have to be honest with myself. Okay? And that's the problem. And I think that I wish I was a better person.
Fair.
Okay? It's not about the principle. It's about me. I'm at fault here.
Okay.
But thank God you have all your limbs. You know?
Thank God indeed, though.
Yes.
For actually.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
You know? Because if you were just missing that leg, I can't... To imagine taking the bus together, that thing comes out, the ramp comes, I gotta wait.
First of all,
for you.
If I did have that, I'd probably have a prosthetic. What do you think? I'm running around in a wheelchair there?
I don't know. Maybe someday you want to be comfortable. You want to let the limb breathe.
Listen,
on a hot summer day.
The nub.
You're gonna not let the nub breathe?
Okay, we're gonna change the subject to another horrible thing you said. Okay. Do you remember the double orphan? The Christmas one.
Refresh my memory.
It was with the person who had a fight with their boyfriend, and then the double orphan drove them to his house or whatever, or her house, and they let the double orphan into their house for Christmas. And you said you didn't want the bad double orphan juju.
That I'll die on that.
That
hill.
is also
I will
insane.
die on that hill. I promise you that is
Crazy.
correct. No, you don't want that energy in your house.
You said that.
You give them money and you send them on their way.
You said chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Sometimes it's your parents.
That was too far.
That was funny.
That was too far, but that was true.
But it was funny.
Yes.
That was another one.
100%.
Yeah, I don't know. Those were the two that stand out in my mind of like my friends texting me and being like, "Oh my God, is he okay?"
Yeah. You talking about what is good dick was hilarious to me.
What did I say?
You were just,
I said too big is overrated.
Yes, when
and
you
and Jiggy, that is such a funny clip.
Right.
Go look for that clip. It's very funny. I was like, too big is not fun. And you're both like, you're right. Too big is not fun.
Yeah, it was great. It was such good. It was so solid in how it all worked out.
Because I didn't even think about it. It just kind of came out, and you both were like, "Yeah,
we were
let's
off to
go
the
with
races,
that."
and we enjoyed it so much.
That was so funny.
Yeah.
Whenever you would say, one of my favorite moments is when I would come at you with some kind of zinger, and you would say that I throw wild haymakers.
Yes,
sometimes.
yes. Oh, when we did the hot takes wild debates with the Mother Octopus with Katie, and you came in, and that's a moment we mentioned before, but you came in swinging so hard that I was like kind of gobsmacked, and I don't use gobsmacked. It's not a word I'm often saying. And I was so gobsmacked by that. I was like, about gift giving. Yeah. And you know, the thing is this, and one of the things I really like about you is that you can get people, when you have people's numbers, you have their numbers. You know what I mean? You really have their numbers, and you don't forget it. Because some people forget their numbers.
I mean, again, it makes me sound like a sociopath.
No. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at it as in a negative way, and I don't think you should either. I think that it just means that you know. But it also says this though. It also means a level of empathy because you're not going to abuse it. Right. You could.
Yeah, I could.
There's people that can be. It's one thing to be able to be mean.
Yeah.
That is lacks empathy.
Right.
But the difference is when you can use it appropriately so, and then go like, I can kind of really turn up the screw. I can turn up the heat. Yeah. And it makes it fun.
It's more that I like making people think about stuff.
Yeah. And
like,
exactly. Yeah. And I like that about I like about what you do.
I think deeply about things, and I think weirdly about things. Yes. I've always said that about myself, and other people have too. They're like, I don't know where your brain comes up with this stuff. And I'm like, I don't know. I just think about things differently sometimes. Yes. And that was one of them. And just so everyone knows, because now we've mentioned it a few times, I basically said that people who don't like receiving gifts don't like themselves, which again is a bold claim, but when you think about it, again,
very true.
Go back and listen to the clip. It's because I think gifts are a reflection of who you are, or like, it was something along those lines, but basically a reflection of who you are. It complements who you are. That's what I said. Yes. And I think that there's truth to that. So people who don't like gifts, it's because either that, or then they also will realize that the person giving it to them doesn't even know them because they give them something wildly inappropriate or wildly different from what they actually like. There's honestly a lot of issues that really come down to you as the person who doesn't like gifts. It's on you. It's not on the other people. Right. So I think that made
even
people...
now I'm annoyed with this.
Yeah, I mean, but it's like...
Even now, but it's true. It's very true.
It was a big head scratcher.
Yeah.
It still to this day gets comments on our Instagram and views because of that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, often
I'll
go
on
the
people's
TikTok.
heads.
I'll go on the TikTok and people are like, oh, I feel about gifts. It's like, shut up.
Yeah, I got in people's heads. So that's one of my favorite things to do.
100%.
So anyway, yeah, but those were definitely some of my favorite moments.
Yeah, and the episodes will be on the YouTube page because after a while they're not going to be on the podcast page.
Wait, so are they not going to be on Spotify?
No.
Oh, really?
Because once Buzzsprout goes away, then they go away.
Oh shit!
Because I pay a monthly fee for this.
For that to be live on there? Oh, I didn't know that.
That goes away. Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of
upsetting.
Well, okay. No, I just think that...
Well, I'm not going to pay for that continuously.
Yeah, I was just going to say...
This podcast might be going away. There's no divorce attorney involved.
No, I know. But they say sometimes it is good to leave them up.
I understand that, but it's like
Google purposes.
Right. But they'll be available through YouTube.
Okay, but so they'll be on YouTube, I guess.
They'll be on YouTube, yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is there anything else that we should cover? I mean, I do, like I said, I want to say thank you to the people who really did listen.
People that really rocked with us.
Yeah, like honestly, that was so amazing to see and read, especially when you guys would like comment on stuff or share it or
shout outs to Sam down in North Carolina.
Literally shout out to Sam.
Yeah, he was dope.
Such an OG. He's been, I think, a follower of mine for many years now. I think he actually has a pizza named after me, the Skinny Pig. That was my food blogger moniker. It still is, but you know. So thank you for that. Yeah, he's one of the loyalist hoes. And yeah, I don't know. Oh, it's a sad day. Wait, can I play the song again?
Yeah, you can play the song again. Go for it. This is from Fast and the Furious.
Yes.
When Paul Walker
dies.
Yeah, I mean, this is this feels like mockery, but it also is. I understand where you're coming from.
That was also an amazing take and
Yes.
an amazing episode. Sorry, I'll stop it now.
Right. About
Fast and Furious being one of the greatest movie franchises ever.
Who's got 10?
I mean, literally.
Who has 10?
No one.
Nobody's got 10.
Yeah.
That's
Maybe
really
James Bond.
What?
James Bond.
But they're not tied together.
Well, Fast and Furious tied
they are.
together. I mean,
It's
they
a
are to a degree.
The characters, and it's a continuous storyline.
And they're also not literally changing the lead character every single time.
Yeah,
There's been a million James Bonds.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
There's been like 5 James Bonds, and and it's been the same Vin Diesel.
Okay.
And the fact that we keep showing up for Vin Diesel
It's true.
shows you how low class we are as a society.
And how important family is at the end of the day.
That you can have any beer you want.
Yes. As long as it's
a
a Corona.
You know?
I feel like we got to end it there.
Yeah. I think that's really where it comes down
I
to.
think that's it. Well, Pinky Smalls says
Yeah,
goodbye.
and
Porky Hawk.
there we go. I forgot this one's name.
He has a skateboard.
I know. I forgot. I'm sorry.
I was really proud of these names.
Yeah,
you know?
these are great names. I
Thank
just
you.
hate these things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, but
we're not going to plug the podcast. That's for damn certain. But we will plug our individual.
Yeah, I mean, I'm at Dara Pollock.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, maybe if I start posting on my Misfit Creatives page, you could check that out. But I'm not promising anything. So just at Dara Pollock for now.
I'm at All Day KCA. And,
we won't see you next week.
We won't see you next week.
But
right.
Thank you guys.
I will say this, though. The podcast, like, we have the videos and stuff like that. And I think occasionally, maybe we might. I think that might be, like, fun clips that we really enjoyed.
That we could reshare.
We could reshare.
I think
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah.
Anyway, but thanks, guys, for listening. We appreciate the hell out of you.
Have a good one. Bye.
It's been a long day.
I'm going to let this ride out.
No, I thought you stopped it already.
No.